Each week, we select a musical style and play 78s, 45s, and 33 RPM records. Some of our themes will include swing music, blues, heart-wrenching torch songs, early rock and roll, girl groups, soul, and R&B.
Wednesday morning here on KSJE, and it's time for our weekly trip to the Encouragement Lab. Take a look at who is joining us over in the lab. It is none other than Dr. Mike Hattabaugh, who is in the lab this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being with us. And this week you are talking a little bit about anxiety control. And I hope all of my public speaking students are watching, because they tell me how much anxiety they have before having to give a presentation. So
that's one of the things you and I have in common. We both taught those students how to control that anxiety. That's a whole other talk. We could talk about that another time.
We tried, but yes, you're talking about a different type of anxiety,
I'm
perhaps.
talking about just the real life anxiety.
Okay.
Public speaking anxiety. Though it's certainly, you can apply this there, though it's kind of hard in our courses. But
okay.
I saw a stat last week that says upwards of 50% of young adults now are expressing that they have some form of anxiety in their life.
Okay.
50%.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so I would say it's the other 50% causing the anxiety on that 50%.
Maybe, okay.
Seems to be what I hear a lot in my world of relationships.
Right,
but
right.
I talk about how to control it, and I think that's, I've talked about this in general before, but I want to specifically talk about how to control your anxiety. We've kind of become a place where we have lots of access to lots of things that are beyond our control. And it's primarily information. Information's great. You and I are great students of information. You parlay a lot of information. But when it's information that gives us fear, which is related to anxiety, that's where that anxiety comes from. So the greatest tip for anxiety management is managing when and where you access information, and even more importantly, controlling the information that you access. It's that simple.
Okay. And of course, in our 24/7 world, that is probably more easier said than done, I suppose.
Well, yeah, it is. But I mean, just think about it. How many times have you heard people talking about, they found a new kind of snake in Florida? Well, guess what? That's not probably coming out west real soon.
Right.
So if you're filling your brain with that kind of information, then that's probably a bit too much. I remember the whole African bee thing.
Right, I do, of course.
Remember that crisis?
Right. The Africanized bees.
Yeah. Well, I got to go to Africa. Shortly, a couple years after that whole crisis started to hit. And I remember I was staying outside of Johannesburg in this farm. I remember coming out of this little bunkhouse-like place I was staying in and looking at the flowers around the building, and I noticed there were bees on them.
Okay.
And suddenly it hit me, oh wait, these are Africanized bees. And guess what? They weren't attacking me or killing me. And I went, wait a minute. I've been told for years that the African bees are coming, that I should be afraid, and they're all going to come and just wipe us out. And I had pictures of going out my front door and being swarmed by bees and attacked, right?
Didn't happen.
Didn't happen, did it? Now, it's not to say that there's not effects from that, but the reality is most of us had this false conceived notion about how bad that was going to be because we had never experienced African bees before. Now, are they more aggressive? Probably so. The ones I saw in Africa weren't. But the reality is they've come up here. As a matter of fact, I've talked to people, beekeepers, and they're like, yeah, they've ended up kind of hybridizing into our regular bees, and they themselves aren't a problem. As a matter of fact, the bigger problem now is we don't have enough bees, right?
Right.
So we'll take them from anywhere. Where's the Australian bees? Let's get them up here. But that's a great example of a lot of people, anxiety is about emotional energy. And when we are thinking about things that are beyond our control, then that is what creates most, not all, but most of our anxiety. And so that to me is the greatest technique for anxiety control. is to go, okay, how much information am I digesting, and do I need to cut down on that till I get rid of whatever anxiety is I'm dealing with? And that's just a good general rule, and I think as a whole, that's one of the things that's going on in our culture. The internet and everything about this information has made all information seem to be local, even though it's not.
That's true. Well, and that's good advice, Dr. Hattabaugh, especially when we're exposed to it so many hours of the day. I think that's really good advice. So
just listen to KSJE all day and stay away from all the other stuff. That's the answer, right?
There, I will vote for that. I like that. So there you are. Thank you, Dr. Hattabaugh.
You're welcome.
All right, that is Dr. Mike Hattabaugh. He joins me every Wednesday from the Encouragement Lab right here on KSJE Farmington. Sunny and cold day in the forecast for today. We are expecting a high of 36 in Farmington, but those winds are going to keep it feeling like it's much colder out there. 10 degrees overnight tonight, 43 and sunny tomorrow with a low of 14, and sunny and 50 degrees by Friday. This is KSJE, Farmington, New Mexico, the information and cultural beacon of the Four Corners.